Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Rise and Fit Team Call, the first one of the new year. Isn't that kind of fun to say? Like, welcome to 2018. We are January 10th, and we're going to be talking tonight about just kind of reflecting on maybe how the year started or maybe where you were before, how the last 10 days have gone for you, or the last week, month, and then making an action plan to move forward. We have lots of new coaches on our team, and so this is really kind of one of those starting points for them as well. Something that we can use, a tool. I would like to give you a tool tonight that you can use to reflect on your self-care. You can use to reflect on your business. You can use to reflect on creating an action plan going forward, because sometimes it can be super overwhelming to know, like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do, but like, what is it that I specifically need to get done? And so we're going to help create an action plan and break it down, simple steps, so it doesn't seem so overwhelming. Yes, I'm sorry, Candace, your week has not been so pleasant, but I'm glad you're with us. All right, so I have a couple announcements before we get rolling. 80-Day Obsession starts Monday. I hope you are all pumped for it or excited. I know Sierra is like super excited for 80-Day Obsession. Does anybody still need in the coach group the exclusive one with Autumn? If you're not in on it yet, Jill, I got your message and I sent one about your girl. I can message the VIP line with your order number. So I need your email address and your order number. And before, I was always just sending them the email address from the back office, but apparently it has to be the email address from your Facebook. Like, is your back office email match the email of your Facebook account? I don't know why, but that's apparently the hiccup in a lot of the situations, is that those two emails don't match. So I need that information and your order number, and then I can help get you into the group faster, or have them contact you at least. Second thing is Team Cup. Team Cup is coming up, and we're going to get rolling. The registration opens on Monday the 15th as well. Monday the 15th is kind of a big day in the Beachbody world. And it's basically a team competition. Groups of 5 people get together and just really move their business forward. Focus on the vital behaviors, focus on setting maybe some big scary goals, and really just push each other to make sure you're getting your vitals in and getting things done and advancing your business. So I kind of think of Team Cup as kind of like push month. So if you kind of think of like last November, when we were all like, let's hit our goals so we can all qualify for Great Big Elite, that's kind of like what Team Cup can be really all about, and how that, you notice how like some of those businesses just like exploded in November. Same thing applies for Team Cup. You're going to have the same long lasting effects and really help you get moving. So group up in teams of 5. I think the rules are something like no more than 2 diamonds on a team. But other than that, you don't even have to have diamond on your team. You can just group up with anybody. And it doesn't have to be somebody within Rise and Fit. You can pick somebody from Happy and Fit, Fit and Free, Rockstar Fit, or any team rather. And Anna Rannenberg is an adopted coach that's in on our team page. She's looking for a team. She's a pretty fun lady. She lives in Cedar Rapids. And so she spent a couple of our Super Saturdays. She's looking for a team if anybody wants to adopt her. My team's full already. Otherwise, I'd be like, come on in. I've already registered us. We are Rise and Grind, so can't take that one. Yeah, we went with Sierra's. She's like, I'm not very creative tonight, so let's just go with Rise and Grind. And I was like, okay. It works. So get your teams registered, and it will start in February. And there's fun prizes that go with it. There are team prizes, there's individual prizes for Success Club and whatnot. And it's a Summit version. So a lot of the cool prizes are attached to Summit. So photo opportunities, stage recognition, which I'm guessing are kind of like the winners. What else was there? Parties, Success Club parties, those kinds of fun things. So those are all the good stuff. And you can get an umbrella by hitting Success Club 5. So you don't get a shot at the cool umbrella. I mean, don't you want to walk around in the rain with a Beachbody umbrella? Just saying. You don't get the umbrella if you don't play. And you don't get to play, even if you hit Success Club in January or in February, but you've not registered for Team Cup, you're not going to get the umbrella. So you have to get registered for it, right? Okay. And then the other cool thing that's happening for Success Club in January is that you have trip dollars for the Success Club trip in 2019 and PD broadcast with Mel Robbins. And if you've listened to anything Mel Robbins, she's phenomenal. And so you don't want to miss out on that. That's an easy way to get amazing PD. And I love how Beachbody just always pours back into us and helps us become better people. So those are my announcements. Anybody else have anything for the greater good that they want to share before we get going? Anybody? Okay, I see several of you have been in the Push to Diamond group. I also see lots of you in the Elite Premier group, and that's awesome. You've been doing the homework and going. Rise and Fit Elite, yes. We should go downstairs and get my flowers. I want to show you all. They came in the mail the other day, and I wish I could like just pluck one out and like send it to all of you, because you guys are really the reason why we got them. Or you could smell them at least. Maybe we could smell-o-vision. That would work. But okay, so let's just kind of just roll in. Tonight, I just want to talk to you a little bit about some reflection. So if you are into Facebook right now, close it down. If you are doing anything else, get out your pen, get out your paper. Let's get rolling with this. Let me open up my screen. Whoops. Let me see my Facebook. I'm also waiting to hear about somebody's delivery day. Hopefully we hear about that soon too. Okay, so can you see this? Somebody unmute and let me know.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so I can't see you anymore. So if you have something to say, just say it, okay? So this is kind of just a simple reflection form. I've had a couple people from different teams reach out to me and say, ask questions like, how do I get out of this? I'm stuck here, I'm stuck there. And so a lot of my questions really always, just like you guys know, when you say stuff like I'm stuck, a lot of my questions are reflection questions. How's your workout? What are you doing for your nutrition? How's your personal development doing? Are you inviting people? Are you celebrating people? What's your social media like? And so I kind of created this little coach reflection sheet, and I just want to take you through it tonight and really think about, are you doing the things that you need to do in order to get the goals that you really want? So a couple weeks ago, back in December, we went through and made dream boards, and we put down some really big, audacious things on there. And some people thought that we were crazy for putting some of those big things on there. But I believe that everything that you wrote on your dream board is completely possible. And I know that you're going to get there because you're going to stay disciplined to the work that goes into it. You know what you need to do. It's just a matter of taking action. And you're going to do those actions because you're going to create yourself some to-do lists to get there. So, and we're all going to be here to support you. So when you get stuck, or when things are feeling like you're not making any momentum, you feel like you're running fast in the same spot, take some time and reflect on some things, like the vital pieces of our business. So tonight what we're going to do is kind of just go through these 6 areas. So real fast, I'll just say a word, one of the topics, and I want you to rate yourself on a scale between 1 being not so hot and 5 being amazing. And so I'll say one of the topics, go rate yourself with a number. Leave some space, like 2 or 3 lines, or if you've got the sheet printed out, great. And then when we're done rating ourselves in all 6 areas, then we'll go back and write some to-do actions. So like maybe you gave yourself a 2 in nutrition. So what are some things that you can do specifically for yourself to improve that score? This kind of lesson kind of comes from some Brandon Burchard teachings. He talks about this reflection sheet he does this every Sunday, and he goes back and reflects on the roles of his life, or the roles of the most vital things of his career and what he's doing at the moment. How did things go? Kind of goes back through his calendar, actually, he says, and says, oh, this project, how am I doing in these areas of my life? What do I need to improve on? And then makes his to-do list for the next week based off of that reflection. And most people that are going to actually hit their goals do reflection. I think there's 80% of people who reflect on their goals and make new next steps or action plans actually hit their goals. So it's kind of crazy to just do the same thing over and over again and expect to get different results. So what are you going to do differently to get there? So let's just kind of get started here. Working out or your physical health. How are you doing in that area? Just rate yourself on a piece of paper, or if you have the sheet in front of you, awesome, great work. How are you doing in the area of working out? Are you committed? Are you getting them scheduled? Are you giving your all during those workouts? How are you in that area? Let's kind of zip through here. Number 2 is shake and nutrition. Are you getting your shake in every day? Are you fueling yourself with good food, or are you sneaking in the junk? I was really tempted tonight to eat a Swiss cake roll out of our fridge, but I did not. I don't even know why. Like, I don't even really like them. But how are you doing on your nutrition? 3, personal development. When I first started coaching, I didn't necessarily think this was important. I think it's extremely important now. How are you doing on your personal development? Rate yourself there. That's all self-care. So if you are a discount coach, or if you're just kind of working on you right now, that's maybe where you really need to focus right now. So your workout, your nutrition, and your personal development. How are you using that to grow? You can ask these same kinds of questions when you're working with your challengers and on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. Like, how are you connecting with your challengers and helping support them? Our work begins when they buy the challenge pack, not once they buy the challenge pack, our work is done. So our job is to really coach them and support them and be there for them. So help them get into reflection, help them figure out how they can be better for themselves, because really we kind of want to work ourselves out of job. We want to help them become the best coach for themselves so that they want to coach other people too. So be thinking about that. So kind of getting to the business care level, like, how are you doing on your inviting? Are you inviting to the business? Are you inviting to challenge groups? Are you inviting to healthy lifestyle? How are you? Rank yourself on that right now. Give yourself a score. Are you doing it consistently? The next topic on here is social media. Are you posting 2 to 3 times a day? Are you posting 3 to 5 times a day? Are you using stories? Are you using Snapchat? Are you using social media at all? Are you making connections with people? Are people liking and commenting on your stuff? How are you using your social media? Are you hearing crickets? How are you doing there, 1 to 5? And then the last one is celebrations. This vital behavior was not a part of the vital behaviors when I first started. I think they added about a year ago. And the first 3, invite, invite, invite. The second one was personal development. And the third one is, oh my goodness. What's the third one? And then the last one is celebrations, recognition. So being product, that's the other one. And so celebrations has been added as of the last year because people like to be recognized. It makes people feel good when they get to be celebrated. And so how can we celebrate other people, the people that are getting results in our challenges? How can we celebrate our teammates? How can we celebrate just the positive things that are going on in life? Because we're surrounded by so much crap in this world that it feels good sometimes to make sure that you can get out into the social world and put up some positive vibes. So today, now that we've kind of got that, you've kind of ranked yourself, I want to stop sharing my screen for a second. Let's talk about those, right? Okay, so I just realized that I ranked myself a 1 out of 10 and not 1 out of 5. I did not follow my own instructions. So how are you doing? You want to popcorn it? Do you guys want to share, you talk, chit chat about things? You just want me to say a topic and you guys put it in the comments what you thought your score was? Awfully quiet today. see some smiles. I see some apprehension. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Executive decision. I can't talk right now. Okay. How about I say the topic and you put your score in the comments. All right. All right. So working out, getting physical. How are you doing there? Are you pushing yourself in the workouts? Are you getting your workouts in? Awesome sauce. Are you posting about them?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know how to comment.
Are you on I'm guessing you're on a phone.
I'm on a phone.
Somewhere in the bottom, there should be, like, if you touch the screen, maybe there's something that pops up where there's like a little chat window. And then
I see participant.
Okay.
Hold on.
See a little like talk bubble icon.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Found it.
Awesome. Thanks. Because I've been wondering the same thing, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it works. Okay, good. So it looks like a lot of you are getting after your workouts. That's good. And I see you show up on social media every day, or you're in my challenge group. So I see that you're getting into it. Awesome. So what's keeping you from being a perfect 5? For those of you that aren't a perfect 5 or a perfect 10, if you ranked yourself like I did, what's keeping you from being that? Like, think about that and write down a couple action steps in that space that you can do to get better. The second thing was shake and nutrition. How are you doing with your nutrition? Drop in your comments below. Push yourself harder. Your body hates me. Yes, your body does hate you right now. Yes, I agree. How are you doing on your nutrition? Oh, Sherry, 2.5. I hope that's out of 5. Good. One of the coaches, like I said kind of at the beginning, like, coaches like reach out and like want help with things. And I'm like, well, how are things going? And I'm like, are you drinking your shake every day? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? Like, that's like the easiest thing you can do, right? Just get your shake in. So hopefully you're getting your shakes all in. Nutrition's the hard part. Yes. I love that you're putting in comments already. I need to use my containers more. More vegetables. Yep. Shake is non-negotiable. Amazing. I can rock Monday through Friday. Me too. Although I really bad wanted that thing today. I didn't though. I knew I was going to get on with you and talk about it today. Nutrition is where it all changes. Yes, Leanne, you even went through many of you went through the elimination diet and just felt so good, right? It's like, why do we let ourselves go back? I've done the ultimate reset twice, and I'm always thinking, like, how did I get back here? I've trained my body to feel good in a different way, but I don't know. It's like chocolate yesterday. Ugh, yes. If we could just like banish chocolate from my house, it would be awesome. Okay. Feeling starved, but with running, yeah, you need to eat more if you're going to be running and doing some of these 80-day obsession groups. So make sure you keep that in mind. Okay. The third area was personal development. So how are you ranking yourself in personal development right now? These are a little lower. So what are you guys doing? Okay, good. Jess put in there she's doing Miracle Morning. What are you doing right now for PD? Miracle Morning is a very good book. It's in the bottom of my school bag right now. I keep wanting to like do something with it when I'm at school.
I was going to say, are you asking me in particular, or are you asking anybody what they're doing for PD?
I'm asking anybody, but I'm glad you're talking.
I'm like exhausted, so that's why I'm like in my hat over here in the corner. But
it's a work day.
Honestly, like we forced ourselves to do Miracle Morning. We forced ourselves to do Miracle Morning. And I'm finding when I'm forced to do a book for a challenge group, it gets done. And actually one of his steps in the morning is reading, and it is forcing me to read. So I find that I'm good at giving excuses, and I'm good at listening to things and doing other things at the same time. And I know Trina is one that has said that reading is what you need to be doing. And I used to think it was poo-poo, whatever, but it's honestly, it's different.
Yes, it is very different. I am very guilty as well of not actually picking up a book, but I know that I get so much more out of it when I can have the book. So I've actually been kind of double doing it. So I have the book Super Life. I've been reading parts of it in here as well, like actually sitting down with the book and reading it. But I also have been listening to it with my headphones on my Audible app. But the nice thing is, like, I was listening tonight at dance class, and I looked down, like he was talking about excessive protein. And I was like, this is a really big topic right now. Like, and so I was like, okay, what chapter is he in? So now I can go back to chapter 12 and just skim it, underline the pieces I want, and make a post out of it if I need to, or just have that information where I've got it down. But having the book in hand is very beneficial. Trina would say that you should be reading at least 12 books a year. And then if you're only listening to podcasts, you're not getting anything you're getting beneficial information for sure. But that you're not getting anything that's like succinct. Does that make sense? Like a streamlined topic. Like when you sit down and read a book, or you listen to an entire book and you really get something out of it, you have a themed out like instructional piece. But if you're listening to like podcasts, is like listening to like a random chapter from different books all the time. So if you can do something different, that would be good. When she said that, I was like, oh, I do need to listen to more books. Like, and that's really when I got into more Audible, because like books are teaching you something. Podcasts are kind of that snippet, like drive through kind of PD, which I do both. So I'm glad there's a Choose Your Rise listener on here. Sometimes I feel like I talk to nobody, but, so, which is fine. So awesome. I love seeing that you're the high performance, lots of different podcasts, quote of the day. That's one of my favorites. One of the first things I listen to, not the first thing, but one of the first things I listen to in the morning. Women Inspire Women. I like that one too. I listened to hers today. I like that she talks about Beachbody, but doesn't always talk about Beachbody. That makes sense. Like she's trying to speak to everybody, but it's a good thing. All right. The next topic, invitations. How are you doing with invites?
Probably. Said a pretty one. No.
Becky. How are you doing with inviting? Put your score in the chat. Probably 100% honest with you right now. This is my lowest one at the moment. Inviting has gone to just inviting in my world lately. Which I know I need to get better at. So what is it that is making us struggle so much? What do you think? I've got a couple people that have really low scores and then they say I'm struggling. What does that mean? What are you struggling with? Maybe it's the holiday, post-holiday, maybe. What are we struggling with, Jill?
I think for me, there for a while, I was really struggling with my internet not working, and then my computer crashing on me. And then just really, I hit it hard in December, and I just kind of let off the gas and just, I don't know, I just let my mind take over, you know? I just got in my own head. So I just need to step back and just refocus on my why again and just get after it. So, yeah. And I think, you know, I kind of got away from connecting with people that like post or comment. You know, I was like, who am I going to connect with today? And I just kind of, I just lost all the basics, you know? So yeah.
I do the same thing. I push really hard at the end of the month. Like if you ever really watch volume, you'll notice that like my volume goes like this at the end of the month and then the beginning of the month because I'm one of those people that it's crunch time, right? And so I get my job done, but it might be at the last minute. And so the last week of the month is when a lot of Shakeologies are renewing, or, like, I guess the bod thing was kind of it wasn't available until December, but I've had like 7, 8 people like the last 2 days, like their bod renewal is like happen. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice bonus to volume. Yeah, it's something that I push really hard with, and then I take a break and a breather, and then I get in my own head. It's the same thing. One thing that has helped in the past that I just need to start making more of is saying, giving myself like the 15th is my deadline. So like, I'm going to push really hard in the first week. I'm going to, if I, see how things are going, or set goals of like, maybe it's a challenge pack a week, or it's 2 challenge packs a week, or how many people do you need to talk to in order to get to that? Well, if 10% of the people are going to actually say yes, how many people is that you need to talk to if you're going to hit your goal? Nerves, I'm scared to hear no. Like, what's the worst thing that they can say? No? Right? Then what? What happens if they say no? Does like the world end if they say no? No. Just say, okay. I sent out, I think 35 messages before dance class. And I still I sent out like all these messages to people that, okay, this is how I found people. People that have commented on my stuff, either in my Insta stories or in my Facebook message stories, or they've watched it in some sort of way. They've engaged in something I've done. So they've liked, they've commented, they've watched, all those kinds of things. I write down a list of those people, or if I'm watching if I'm going through my story, my Facebook story on the computer, then I just kind of click on my story there and like look at the list, and I can hit message from there. And then it's just a little message pops up on the bottom. So when I close my stories, now I have all these windows open to message people. So that's an option. So those are the people that I'm going to, but I sent out 35 messages before I went to dance class. And then I get there and like, I can see all these messages coming back in, and I'm almost like, I don't want to see the no's, but you got to go in and engage. Right. So I've got 2 people out of those 35 people. I've got 2 people that I've been continuing the conversation with that haven't said no, or that haven't ignored me so far. So, hey, it's a win, right? I've got somebody. So, and that's just something you're going to have to get used to, because not everybody is ready to join us at this time. But, just getting out there and overcoming that fear and just doing it anyway will definitely help. And if you're talking to people that are engaging with you in some sort of way already, it's not as icky sending a message to them, invite them. You know what I mean? Like if you're just like cold calling people, like I used to do when I was naive and, weird, I like go through my message list and be like, oh, I haven't talked to you in 7 years, but I'm going to send you a message and invite you to my challenge group. Or like, I guess it's kind of like Sierra too. Like I didn't really know you very well, but I was like, hey, you're cool. Like I'm going to message you repeatedly until you join me. But
it worked out eventually, right?
And Sarah Morrison's her mentality is unless they tell you to, you just keep asking. And I have had people say, I'm not interested, please stop messaging me. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem. But you don't know until you ask, and you don't know that they are so annoyed until they tell you. So, hey, if people are not cool with getting healthy and fit, I don't know what the problem is. Hardest, I don't have the money. I still struggle with that conversation. I don't have the money means I'm not willing to prioritize myself right now. So kind of speak to that. Like everyone has the money. It's whether or not they're willing to spend the money in that area of their life. So, there are cases where like people really don't have the money. But you get through life spending your cash on what it is that you prioritize your life with. So if you're prioritizing the Starbucks line, or you're prioritizing the cookies in the grocery store over the vegetables, or you're prioritizing whatever, the Casey's donuts, then think about it's always got to think about what they're prioritizing over themselves. So some of those things are things that you can speak to in your posts, like Jill, or not Jill, I'm looking at Jill, looking right at you. What I meant to say is Liz Colburn just did a really, really awesome post about how she used to go through Starbucks line every day on her way to school and get a mocha, whatever. It cost her $5. And her now, and that was only if she did it on the weekdays on her way to school. She was spending well over $100 a month on something that really wasn't getting her anywhere. And now she's spending less than $100 a month on amazing nutrition. That's, all that kind of stuff. So you can speak to some of those things, or just, you don't have to like call it out or like, and talk about those kinds of things, but like just prioritizing you can just be a topic of something that you do. So think about that. You all made a choice. You all spent the $160 to be a part of this. So what was it that finally made you decide that it was something that you needed to do? I know some of you on this call struggled with the income portion of it. So what was it that made it finally worth it for you? So think about that. Other inviting things, questions? Try to read. That's your biggest hang up. Yeah. If they're not, it's basically that they don't see enough value in it yet, or they don't make themselves a priority. Those are the two hesitations that people have when it's about money and time.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm having a real hard time expanding my space. I don't know how to reach people. So I started a new business account with my Facebook because I didn't want to alienate my friends. And then I've been posting a lot. So I'm getting a lot of people who are already in Beachbody as friend requests. Mm-hmm. And I'm not getting anyone to sell to. I mean, not that that's my only thing, but no one to help. Like, I'm not getting anyone that I can interact with, really.
Are your team, are the people that are following you your teammates?
Some of them are my family, and I'm working on them. But I just, like I said, it's like my circle is very small.
Mm-hmm. I would, when you're doing posts, and they've changed so many things with like the algorithm things with like pages and stuff, but like when you post in there, do a lot more curiosity marketing than anything. And if you like do post, you can exclude people from Beachbody, or don't use Beachbody lingo, kind of thing. Like, just talk about healthy living and what your amazing superfood shake does, but don't call it Shakeology. And like, talk about it without saying the word. What's that game where you have to like describe the thing, but you can't say the actual
Taboo.
word? What?
Taboo.
Taboo. Yeah. Play taboo 24/7 on your social media, right? Like, you need to explain it, but not tell them what it is.
Okay. So I have something to say though, too. So Amanda, I guess my question is, you don't want to alienate your friends, but at the same time, like, maybe you should look at it more that like they will be watching you, because like I said earlier in a comment, like so many people are watching me, and you don't have to like you don't have to throw a whole bunch of fitness stuff at them. You don't have to throw all that stuff. But once they start seeing that you're making it part of your life and your lifestyle and how you've put it into your life, then that's a little bit of curiosity marking right there. And then they're kind of like, whoa, I'm seeing that she's easily taking carrots as she runs out the door, or she's making this silly shake thing. What is this shake that she keeps making that I keep seeing? And you don't have to throw it in their face, but at the same time, they're going to kind of see it and be like, I wonder what she's doing. And then they're going to see you change. And then they're going to be like, okay, I need to get in on this. Whereas if you're only in your fitness page, like you said, you're primarily getting fitness people over there probably, or, things like that. So that's just my two cents of it.
Yep.
I don't know.
I completely agree with Jess. Completely agree.
I would agree with that too. Like I know, like you guys talk about being a product of the product and showing up. I have people commenting on the fact that I'm posting daily my workouts and shakes. You're doing a really good job and you're showing up every day, and it's one of those things that you hear someone say that and you're like, well, yeah, okay. But when you start doing it, you're like, I get it now. When you actually put yourself out there and you're starting to share that part of yourself, people really do take notice of that, and that you're so, you're so strong in that you're showing up daily. If I can do this, anybody can do this. You can do this. I've got a million things that I could use as an excuse, and I'm not. So if I can do it, you can. I mean, it really does make a big difference. I would agree with that.
And actually, too, you could use it if you're struggling. Like all of a sudden, holy cow, I know everybody, all of my Facebook friends are probably going to be wondering where I'm at or why I haven't done such and such, or, little things like that, where it's just another piece of accountability, actually, too.
Yep.
Well, and I've invited like everyone, all my friends and everyone that I have on my personal account over to my business account as well. I guess I just wanted them to have the choice of whether they wanted to hear about it or not. And I get a lot of support from friends, family, and those kinds of things. I guess maybe I just need to get over the fear of it actually inviting them as well. I have people in my house that live in my house that are curious, but they will go to Candace instead of me. They don't talk to me. I'm like, I come in, I make a shake. I'm like, guys, there's Shakeology in the cupboard. If you want some, if you want to try it, go ahead, try it. But then when they want to ask questions about buying it, they go to Candace. Cracks me up. I'm like, what is going on here?
Do they not realize you're a coach?
They know I'm a coach.
They can buy it from you too.
Well, and Candace is like, you need to talk to them. And I'm like, I have to talk to them. I don't understand.
Oh, goodness. That one is a perplexing one, I must say. But I agree with everything that these ladies are saying. Like, there's a time and a place to kind of go to. And is it a business page or is it a public figure page?
I believe it's the business page. Is there a difference? Can I switch it?
I think you can switch it, but I would say definitely go with the public figure versus a business, because I read somewhere in the last couple of months that business pages are really for brick and mortar places that have things to sell in their own stores, and that's not us. So if you're going to do a like page, do a public figure page so that it kind of gets out there into the stream more.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Since we're kind of on the topic of social media, did we already do that one, or just inviting? We've just been talking about inviting. Since we're talking about social media, rank yourself. Are you posting 2 to 3 times a day? Are you posting 3 to 5 times a day? What kind of stuff are you posting? See some 4s. Yeah, I don't have a lot of family that's joined me yet either. My mother-in-law likes to get Shakeology from me, but not because she's going to buy it, because I buy it for her. My mom, I guess, is a coach under me. That kind of counts. All right. 2 to 3 times a day I post, but I don't always get in 3 to 5 a day. One of the things that Melanie Mitro was talking about in the National Makeup Call this last week was quality over quantity, and how she's really pared it down from 3 to 5 to maybe 2 to 3 at max, but really using the heck out of stories. And I would say I typically do a lot with stories. Today was not a very good story day. I was in meetings all day. So that's kind of, and then I just forgot about things kind of towards the end of the night tonight. But using good quality posts, sharing your story, using your social media as a magazine, using it as kind of like a blog, just kind of recording life. That's, Instagram is about recording your life in pictures. Facebook is about recording your life in words and sharing. So if you can tell a story, I heard in a podcast recently, I think it's the House School, that those people that are going to be able to tell the best stories are the ones that are actually going to make the most money, regardless of what industry you're in. So if you're able to tell a story and engage people and keep them in connected to you in some sort of way, that's what people want to know. I think it was actually Shailene Johnson, the Build Your Tribe podcast. She was talking about telling your story, and being a storyteller is the number one way to engage people. She shares how when Periscope, do you guys even know what Periscope is? It's kind of like Facebook Live, but like live, like you like opened up in the whole internet, like anybody could just watch you. And this girl, like a former porn star, which we think probably would be why she has a lot of followers, but she just like would just, her life was just constantly on Periscope. So it's kind of like a reality TV. Like she just had her phone with her, or her whatever that was just living or streaming Periscope 24/7, and really just like Shailene was like, you couldn't not watch her. Like it was like watching a train wreck or a car accident, and like not being able to like pull your eyes away from it. And you like started to like wanted to be like, oh, I want to help her, or I wish I could just give her this advice, or I want to help her in this situation. But like it was because this girl was just putting her entire life out there, people got to know who she was and go from that way. So now, I'm not saying like Periscope your life. I'm not saying put out all your little dirty laundry and all your details. I'm just saying share who you are and talk about your solutions. So one of the things that I posted last Sunday, I think many of you saw it, was like how I woke up really cranky and snapped at my kids, snapped at my husband, and went down and worked out, apologized about it, Hattie joined me for a workout, and I wrote that whole thing out. Like I didn't just say like I was stressed out and I got a workout in and I felt better. Like I laid it out there. I painted the picture of really crabby mom snapping at my kids. Who doesn't relate to that? And then how I create a solution for it, right? I didn't just complain. I didn't rant like so many people do on Facebook. I did what I did. I talked about my solution, how I tried to fix it. I never really fix those situations. And then you get over it, right? And so I talked about how my workout was a part of that. I talked about how, like what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do. I kept my mouth shut at first, but then when I got downstairs, I just, so it was just, it's a sharing the whole story. And so people can relate to those things. And then people really connected. I had a lot of interaction on that post. And I was just like, this is my everyday, people. Like I struggle with holding my tongue sometimes. And so like, but talk about that stuff, right? It doesn't all have to be workouts and shakes. It can be about life and how you're finding solutions to your struggles, and how personal development has helped you, or how working out has helped you. Be relatable. Absolutely. And thank you, Leanne and Jill. Yeah, so how are you using social media? Like what can you do in that area to get better? And then the last area is celebrations, recognition. How are you doing in that area? So score yourself, I guess. You could talk about shingles more. Yes, Candace. 2 of 10. This is one that I kind of struggle with, not because I struggle with celebrating people, but I struggle with how to celebrate specific people. Like I definitely do tons of shout outs on the team page, which you guys see. I do a lot of individual celebrations, behind the scenes things. I send a lot of snail mail. I don't do a lot of like, or messages. I don't do a lot of like out there recognition, and sometimes it makes me a little uncomfortable. I don't know. I've gotten over this for the most part, but like when Julianne started first posting like the banners out on her regular page instead of in the team page, I was like, I don't know. I've gotten over it, like whatever. But yeah, like I like to do things like and make him, I feel like for me, it's more meaningful when someone like really reaches out and makes a connection versus just like blast it out. I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. But you like to celebrate more in PMs. Good. Yeah. Right. Like, so how are you celebrating people? Are you celebrating people? Are you able to get more mail? Like send more mail. I had a challenge in myself last year and I made it. I might have used the last few stamps on Christmas cards, but I got through the entire roll of stamps last year I bought the stamps with my Beachbody card, and I used all of them on either prizes or cards or notes to people throughout the year. Like that was one of my goals. I don't think I ever said that, but I made it to the very end, and they sit in my last roll is in my office. And I think I might've actually used the last 2 stamps on Christmas cards to coaches, but you know, they're going to coaches. But yeah, like how are you doing different things? Recognize when they are posts, but maybe shout out to whole posts. My challengers and coaches trying to do it every week. Good news. I'm worried people won't want it blasted on Facebook. Yeah, and we've had a struggle like that recently in our team. You never really know people are gonna respond. I've asked for permission before. Can I say this? Would you be comfortable with this? Like write up the post and then send it to them. Would you be comfortable if I did this on your page, or if I tagged you in a post on Facebook? So you can definitely ask questions, or you can just do it privately in the group or the team page if you're nervous about it. But yeah, I wasn't going to say it was you, Jill. I try to help them find something to celebrate when we're talking. Yeah, good. So a couple of the reflection questions that I always send to people are, what are you proud of from this last week? What is something you want to work on? You really get them thinking and reflecting. So when they come back with, I'm really proud of this, I can use that as social collateral out on my page. I don't have to say who it's from, but I'm like, 7 people from my challenge group this week are super excited. They have more energy. 10 people from my challenge group this week are super pumped that they've already lost 5 pounds. You know, like you can say things like that in your post when you're inviting others, or just in your social media in general. So collect that stuff, talk to people more often, ask them to reflect with you, and then celebrate that. You guys have seen me do it before, where someone sends me a message and I screenshot it on my phone, take out their identification and post that. Like this totally makes my day when I get messages like this. You know, like it's social collateral. I'm celebrating them. They know it's them, but they don't, not everyone knows it's them, kind of thing. All right. So now that you've ranked yourself, we've talked about this a little bit on some next steps. So now that you've got yourself ranked, look at your list again of those 6 areas, and maybe you want to choose something from self-care and you want to work on something from business. Totally up to you. But what is your lowest score? Which area is your lowest score? Keep waiting for a Snapchat from someone. Hasn't happened yet. PD, inviting, okay. Recognition, celebrating, PD. Okie doke. So now that we've kind of identified what it is that you are lowest in, what are you going to do about it this week? So the bottom part of that, bottom part of the thing was this week's to-do list. So in these areas, you've ranked yourself, you've given yourself a score, and then your to-do here was to write down some goals that you have in these areas. So if my inviting is the crappy part of my thing, which it is, it's my lowest right now, what can I do about it? Well, I can make a commitment to myself to invite 10 people a day. I can make a commitment to myself that I'm going to make 5 challenge group or 5 coach invites a day. I'm going to make a commitment to myself. I'm going to maybe say I'm going to tell my accountability partner that this is when I get that done. Whatever, you can come up with your own goals, how you're going to get it done, but make some action steps. And if anybody needs help coming up with action steps, let's talk about that. Let's brainstorm together. Was there anybody that scored really high in this area? Anybody that scored really high in inviting? Okay, nobody. I did 5. Good, Heather. Okay, so what are you doing right now that is working for you? What's working for inviting?
I would say that's basically I have just committed to a number. I send out at least 5 to 10 invites a day. I either do it in my early morning. If I can't get it done in my early morning time, I have kind of for me, I had to stop the newsfeed scroll on Facebook. And so over my lunch hour, if I found myself starting to newsfeed scroll, I stopped and picked a few people to send an invite to. And then kind of again towards the evening, if I haven't gotten it in, then I'll do it again in the evening. It's just, I think, committing to a number, picking a number and committing to it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Good advice. I know, like at Summit, I believe it was at Summit, somebody talked about how they would open up their notebook, this beautiful notebook, open up their notebook and say, there's 25 lines. I'm not going to stop inviting people until I've got a name on every single line of the paper. Or you write down 1 through 10 on a piece of paper and you don't stop until you've got 1 through 10 filled out. Like, just, yeah, give yourself a number and go do it. When you're inviting someone, Heather, are you sending them a short script? Are you doing a form? How are you doing it?
I kind of have like a little spiel, I guess, of my own kind of personal. I kind of just basically, obviously we're after the New Year, so I kind of made a thing about, I'll say, hi, so-and-so, whatever their name is. How are you doing after your holidays? I hope you had a fun time with your family. And then I'll kind of go in to talk about how, after the holidays, we can tend to feel bloated, tired, kind of just feeling sluggish. And then I'll kind of just talk about, I have a health and fitness journey that I've started, and I would love to chat with you. Have you made any goals or resolutions for the new year? Mm-hmm. Kind of feel, and then basically I just copy and paste and change the names.
Okay. How are you getting, what kind of responses are you getting from that?
That's the problem. Yeah, I'm hearing more crickets than I guess I thought I would, which has kind of been a huge frustration, I would say, so far. Yeah, that's been the hardest. I've gotten a few feedbacks of, I have a couple girls that are interested in just Shakeology but don't want to do workouts. Mm-hmm. So I'm about to them, and then I have, just a few that money issue or time. I mean, it's just, I guess the conversations are still going. I will say there's conversations, but
right.
Well, I guess not jumping right in, I guess.
I'm going to put in 2 of the scripts, I guess, that I have been using lately. Maybe it will let me, maybe I didn't copy it. Well, let me paste it. Here, I'll just share my screen. You can see it. So I have this really long, like every script I've ever written, basically, in here. And so what I end up doing a lot of times is just switching it out. So yeah, like this is one that I've been using a lot today. I know it's been a while since we've touched base, and I always put their name in there. I know it's been a while since we've touched base. I hope you're having a great day. Do you mind sending me a quick message back if you're interested in starting a brand new health and fitness routine in the new year? I'd love to hear from you. Like, those are people that I've talked to before. I would never send that to somebody that I've never sent a message to before. The next one is really more kind of salesy. I'm not super a fan of this one, but I have used it. I use this one more on Instagram than I would on Facebook necessarily. Trying to share with them what they would get out of it, meet some objections right away, say, I'm a busy mom, these are my roles of life, like if I can do it, you can do it, kind of thing. Just some checking back things. Hey, here's thanks for liking my post and visiting my page. My mission, These are people that I don't know at all. So, if I have a relationship with them, great. This is when I was inviting UK people to my page. This one's an interesting one. I haven't used this in a long time. I know it's been a while since we talked in ages, but I'd love to keep up with you through your posts. I'm thrilled to see that your life's been good to you. I'd love to pick your brain about my business since I have a feeling you might know some people that I could help. This is one that I used after the Get Over Your Damn Self book. I can tell already. They grow up so fast before I know it. They'll venture on their own. I think these are scripts that I all wrote down, all from the book. Here's the one that I send to randomly sometimes when there's people that I, friend requests. Thanks for accepting my friend request. I love expanding my friend list of positive, uplifting people. Scanning through your page for the last few minutes, it looks like we could be great friends. And it just starts a conversation. It doesn't say anything about Beachbody. It doesn't say anything about joining my challenge group. It just starts a conversation and just gets the process going in a way that, I mean, it's really more of, my messages used to be very, here's my group, come join it. And now I've really kind of backed off because I don't want to be that Rodan and Fields lady that says, I've got this amazing skincare product that you should just try. I don't want to try your skincare. I think that when I see those kinds of things come up, I'm like, I wonder how people are interpreting my messages. Is it a conversation starter or is it a plea to join my group? It's usually what I try to put myself in that lens. And I've totally been there. So no judgments at all. I just kind of look through some of these and I'm like, whoa, I sounded so salesy. Like this one. This was actually, guess who this one's from? Whose language is that? Anybody know which coach that came from? Jill?
Julianne? Is it Julianne? Or is it me?
It's actually from Mariah. Where's another one Mariah sent me? I usually change hers right away because they sound so Mariah. I'm not Black. I can't talk that way. Hey sister is how she usually starts it out with. I'm like, I can't say hey sister. But then I have a couple here that like new. This one is obviously old. It's but from summer. Returners. Hey, how are you? I hope your fall's been great. Obviously, it's been a while. New group coming up in November. Those are people I've already talked to. Yeah, and then there's my letter to Trina telling her how I wanted to talk at Summit. All right. Questions? Does everybody have their category figured out? The last thing on the list, the to-do list, is the to-do list. So now that you have ranked yourself in those 6 areas and you have figured out maybe what's a place that you want to, some goals that you want to set for yourself or some things to do. Now, what are you going to pare down is because you can't do everything. So if you wrote down 3 things for all those topics, you're going to feel pretty frustrated if you write down 18 to-dos for this next week. But what are some of the things that you can do, 5 things or 3 things that you can commit to getting better at? Maybe you pick your lowest category and really hit that hard this week. Really focus on that. Maybe you take your second lowest, maybe take 2 topics. And what is that is really going to move the needle this week for you? And think about what your action list is going to be. And in the comments, I'd love to know what's something that you are going to take action on this week. Start my power hour with inviting. Good. Eat that frog. Specific goal for recognition. Good. I'm going to number my paper this week, every day. Good. Reading before you pass out is better than basic scrolling. Yes, I agree. Listen to podcasts every morning and 15 minutes reading every night. Good. Starting my power, inviting, setting a number goal. I know that many of you already know this about me. You've heard this part of my story before, but I started with a planner like this. I got at Target, and I actually went through my friends list and just wrote 5 names down every single day on every day of the month or whatever. And so I just wrote 5 names down, and those are the people that I would reach out to that day. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to worry about whose name was on there or who I was going to reach out to. It was very much, I mean, some of you are very new, so this is still doable for you. You're just reaching out to anybody and everybody. But then when I really started to think about too, like, who's my niche? Who do I want to work with? Who, you know, I can see some of these names on here, like, one of them is like, could be my grandma. Is she in my avatar? No. Could she benefit from this? Yes. But is she gonna one that is gonna probably join me? Maybe, maybe not. But be thinking about when you're going through that friends list, or like, here's a guy, Bruce McIntosh, went to high school with him. I don't know why I invited him. He's not, I'm not gonna work with Bruce. But you know, thinking about who's on your list and thinking about, then it's kind of fun to kind of just go through here and think about all the people that have or have not joined. And then I wrote messages next to them. So like, I would check their name that I invited them, or I'd cross them off if they told me no. Wrote notes. Thank you for this. Connect with her again Tuesday. Followed up Saturday. There are different quotes on here. I don't know what this 96,000 coach call means, but, or responded 22-minute hardcore. You know, like, you can put notes next to those things. I have my 25 tracker. Good, good, good. So that was just something that I did just to make it easy. I did not have a lot of time in the morning. I have way more time now. I get up earlier. But just something that made, the less decisions you have to make and the less you think about it, the easier it is to do. So if you can eliminate the think time and just capitalize on the do time, much better off. So that was just I just took the fear out of it at the very beginning by having just have those 5 names, and no matter who they were. I mean, there were some days like, oh, am I going to send this? But I'm like, do it. Like, you have 5 names, just do it. Right? Good. Teamsy's good. Rockstar Tracker, I like that one too. Team Rockstar Fit has a lot of amazing resources in it. So if you are not in there, let me know and I'll add you. Get you in there. We oftentimes don't add people to all of the ones above us because it can be overwhelming. But you can definitely be in them if you want to be in them. So there's us, and then there's Happy and Fit, and then there's Fit and Free, and then there's Rockstar Fit. So they just kind of go up that way. Do what works for you, absolutely. Excuse me, I'm getting dry. All right. Anybody want to share anything before we go? Was tonight beneficial? Hopefully. Yeah. Got some action items for the week. Okie doke. I'm going to end the recording.